afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, July 14th. And we are looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES&NQ. A lot to get to. We're going to go over all the charts and everything. Look, we had a nice pullback today. Do we have possible short-term excess at the year's high? It's possible, and I'm sure all social media will be screaming it. So before we go over anything, I talk about not trying to pick highs and everything. So keep in mind, triple Qs, NQ had an outside week up. They're up in all three time frames. We're up in all three time frames. Righty came into balance on the daily. So even though we pulled back today, and NQ actually goes out with a trend day down, as does Righty. When we talk about, like in ES, and we were discussing this in the room this afternoon. If you shorted B's high, okay, and you held it, that's lucky, because the market wasn't telling you to be short up there. Okay, plain and simple, it wasn't. Now, however, once we failed up there and we started getting some two-sided trade, remember, we went through the open in 6 out of 6 time frames. That is a sign. That is a sign of no conviction. So we weren't sure what they were going to do. But then after that, they did kind of got a direction. We never got back above the opening. You knew something had changed. We lowered volume POC. We lowered the TPO. So you had a chance in J period, or around there, for argument's sake. And again, this is both for a longer term swing trader or even just a day trader today. Now I didn't do it in ES, but I did take a short in NQ, which I did nice on. And the reason I took it in NQ is because they hadn't gotten their IB low yet. We had. So I figured they'd go for it. That's why I did it in that. So on a twofold trade here, if you're a swing trader, now again, nothing's changed in the bigger picture. But if you think there's some excess, and you think we could come back into balance and maybe come into a 4-day balance, say on Monday, and test the low before we get to the gap. So that's, if you shorted 45.50 and you're going to use B's high as you're out, it's a 10 to 12 points. Now this is as a swing trade I'm talking about, not as a day trader. Okay, you might have excess to lean on, even though it's still one time framing up. So you take a short at 45.50. Now you're looking for what? Down around 4,500. So that's a nice risk reward trade. If you think we can go back test 4,500, that's 5 to 1 basically. Even if it's 4 to 1, even if you get a little bit above that and it's a little more than 12 points as you're out. So that's something you could possibly do. Now, as a day trader today, again, same thing. Rather than shorting B's high, if once we fail to get the opening in G, H, I, well, now we're getting possibly an afternoon rally high, and I told the room that. Now, I told you why I took the trade in NQ rather than here. But that's another great risk. So if you shorted 49 in J, and you're using the opening as you're out, 52. Okay, that's 3 points of heat you would take. Not forget heat. You're out, 3 points. What is your target? You think we're going to go make a new low. In fact, I told the room. I said, I do think we have good chance. Well, first off, when we had the buy tail, we had a buy tail in C and a sell tail in B. I said, I think the buy tail gets taken out because the MGI had changed. So if you shorted 49 to at least go test the day's low, forget about getting the overnight low. The day's low at that point was 38.50. So you're never going to get the high. So you short 49, you're never going to get the low. You're looking for 39. That's 10 points versus 3 points of where your stop is. Did your stop ever get threatened? No. That's not even counting down here if you wanted to stay short. That's still 10 points versus a 3-point risk. So those are the things we talk about. And I know this video is going to end up being longer, but man, it's important. It is so important to understand how this market paints a picture and is visual, and not to get stubborn, and look for MGI that gives you better odds. Really, plain and simple. Plain and simple. I mean, that's. I hope just doing that for a couple of minutes shows you the value of what, number one, the profile offers you, and number two, what I can offer you and my trading room can offer you. Because those are some things, and it was the same thing in NQ. Anybody short in NQ at B's high, okay, I don't care if you held it all the way down to the day's low. You were a lucky fool. Plain and simple. You were lucky. All right? So where could you have shorted NQ? Well, C came down. We were having trouble getting the IB. Now, at least with two-sided trade, okay, you can either take the short at E and now use B's high as your out. Okay? So if you took that short at whatever, 830, and your out is above here at, I can't even see what number that is. Again, that's about 25 points in NQ. But if you're looking to possibly, okay, we put in some little excess here, well, then again, you could have used that to go down and at least test, say, C's low. So again, use market-generated information instead of bias, instead of, well, we can't go higher anymore, and all that. I'm sure there's people screaming, the top's in, the top's in. Look, excess ends one auction and begins another. So on the shorter time frame, that did happen today in both ES and NQ. They had excess at their highs, which are yearly highs, and this excess ended the up auction and started what? The down auction for the intraday. Now, does that carry over into a bigger picture excess? In other words, taking out the daily low and then eventually taking out a weekly low where that excess holds, and now you really start a new auction maybe to the downside to get a balance on the weekly. Again, we don't know that yet. Excess is very difficult to see. Okay, it's a balance. That's why balance is so much more powerful to trade against, because it's clear in front of you. Okay, but just because you don't know at the time this is excess, these trades that we just spoke about are good risk-reward trades against that possible excess today. Anyway, I hope that helps. I'm not going to go over my trade since I did all that. I had a good day. The only loss I had today was a short. I took a short to try. I thought we'd front run the overnight high, lost 2 points. After that, I ended up making 9.5 in ES. I made 28 in NQ. The majority of that was on that short to go get the IB low, which I thought we would finally get. So ended up with a great week, 82 in ES, about 148 in NQ. So very happy on that. The market, though, again, as far as our destinations, and we'll break down all these charts to show you what needs to be done for bears to have any thought of getting, any really leeway to the downside. So our upside destination in SPY is 450.26. That's Jay's afternoon rally high. Okay, we ended only 7 wide, by the way. And then today's high is 451.36, which is a weekly high and our yearly high for now. The downside is today's low, 448.49, as we took back yesterday's trend day. And you should have all the other ones from yesterday. Also, I said my line in the sand was G's high. Well, guess what? We did trade below it, but popped above it. Now, that's not going to be my line in the sand anymore. The more important one now is today's low, because we did trade below it, but more importantly, if we take out today's low, we're back to balance on the daily. In ES, our downside is 31, and our upside will be our afternoon rally high of 49.25, and today's high of 60.50. Now, let's go to those charts and break them all down. I hope this stuff helps you. I really would love more people to join this trading room. I mean, my goodness, we put our heart and soul into this, and it kind of drives me nuts because I think a lot of people want something handed to them, or they think because I'm only $30, I don't offer, I don't offer good value. The reason I'm cheap, you like that? The reason I'm cheap is because I was blessed to have a great career on Wall Street that many people helped me in my career, okay? Mentored me and everything else. I've been very fortunate, and I love giving back. And I think I'm a pretty good educator when it comes to breaking down charts and certainly breaking down the profile. Incredibly, more so on a daily time frame than, say, in the bigger picture. Okay, I think that's my expertise. So that's why I only charge $30, because I love seeing younger people in the room, and I love seeing newer traders start out. Instead of spending money, on expensive money trying to learn from people, hopefully through me, they will learn and bring more people in if they like what they see. Okay? All right. So, righty is in balance on the monthly from May of last year to July of this year. Okay? That's 15 months. Nothing's changing with that. They are, strictly, firmly in balance. They don't come out of balance until they take out 201.99. Then and only then would we speak about the monthly going up. And boy, oh boy, we would want acceptance, because we see what happened. We saw it happen here at the all-time high and then came in. So the monthly is in a 15-month balance. The weekly is up. So the weekly is up. So now they have to start targeting some other weekly highs. So again, that would be 199.26, and then the big one, 201.99, which is the monthly balance high. So the weekly is healthy. It's up on IWM. And the daily is balance. Okay? It came back into balance. It's a 3-day balance. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's healthy to come into balance. It's healthy to shake out some weak longs. It's healthy to trade sideways for a little while. And then finally, though, if you're a bull and want to come out of that balance, back to the upside. So the monthly is balanced. The weekly is up. The daily is balanced. NQ, triple Qs. We were one time framing up 3, 4, 5 months, basically. We had an outside month up 5 months ago. Officially started one time framing up the month after. Okay, they got March's high from 22. Their next target is a very, very enticing 402.28. And that's just a stone's throw away from the all-time high of 408.71. So that is their next real target on the monthly, if it stays healthy. So the monthly is up. Weekly had an outside week up. So the weekly is up. Came out of balance. So yes, we came off $3 or $4. What did we come off? Almost $4 actually. So people are screaming it's over. It's not over yet. The monthly is up. The weekly is up with an outside week up, and the daily is up. One time framing up for 4 days. Would it be healthy for the daily to come back into balance? Sure it would. So maybe we take out today's low on Monday and come into a 3-day balance. Maybe we come into a 4-day balance. That's healthy. But again, we won't know if what we did today is excess for a longer time frame. Not yet. Not yet. Okay? Because you're not going to know until we sell off. So if we take out today's low on Monday, we certainly then did put in some short-term excess on the daily. But you're not going to know if it was quote-unquote excess at the yearly high that's going to hold unless we start taking out last week's low, and then, of course, down the road, a monthly low. So I know people are going to be all giddy on social media saying, look at this candle on the daily and NQ and triple Qs. Look at the excess we had in B period today. It's over. The bulls are done. That's foolish thinking, right? Take it in baby steps. An educated trader would break it down and say, well, if this happens, then this will happen, and vice versa. We haven't even stopped one time framing up on the daily. What happens if we take out today's high on Monday? Guess what? Those people are sucking wind again. So let's see what happens on Monday. Now, some people might say, well, suppose we gap down big. You might. If that happens, so be it. That's, the risk. But to take a short home over the weekend saying you anticipate a short down, I think that's a gamble right now, even though you might have excess on both the ES and NQ at the highs today. So the monthly, weekly, and daily are all up on the NQ. Now, ES and SPY. We're up on the monthly, one time framing up. Our next target is March's high, 462.07 in SPY. We're $11 from it. Will we get it? Again, until something changes for me, I will say they still have a good chance to get it, right? So on the monthly right now, nothing's changing. They're very healthy. So I'm going to say, yes, it's a good chance. On the weekly, we just broke out of a 4-week balance to the upside. Just because we had that little excess today, do we want to just say the bulls are dead? It's over. You know, we're taking out this week's low next week, and we put our yearly, the high for the year in. Again, that's foolish to even say something like that. It just is. We'll know if that's the case, but to say it right now is just is fool's gold. So the monthly is up, the weekly is up, just came out of balance, and the daily is still up. One time frame and up 4 days. So we will know if something starts changing. You might not ever catch the top because you're never going to. So it's better off waiting and getting better risk reward and better MGI prior to taking a short against a market that has gone up pretty much in a lot of people's faces. Anyway, I hope all this helps. Rest up, have a great weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.